1, 2, 3, 4.
Aussitzen is a great German word. The first time I heard it was during the tenure of Helmut Kohl in the 80s. The German chancellor, great German chancellor. He was like, I don't know, 16 years, 12 years or something, German chancellor. And he was this huge fat guy who was very conservative. The liberals hated him, and even a lot of the conservatives hated him. And but he really put his stamp on the German Republic. He had a major crisis at some point that there was a slush fund, and he was involved in a slush fund for the party, and the newspapers were after him. Everyone was after him. Everyone wanted his head on a stick, and what he did, he just didn't really react. He said, well, I'm not going to reveal the names of these people. I'm just not going to. I promised them I wouldn't, and I'm not going to. And here I am, and just I'm just going to go on working like always. And it kind of aggravated and impressed people so much that they invented this word Aussitzen, which means to sit out, to sit something out. You just stay in your chair until it blows over. It's not quite like the English word sitting out. You sit out something in English probably means something like you are skipping something. You're going to sit this one out. You're not going to go to this ball game. You're going to sit it out, or something like that. But this means the storm is raging. The peasants are at the door with torches. They want your scalp. And so your reaction is not to make excuses, not to call your lawyer, not to blame someone else, not to get on the first plane to Switzerland. It's to sit it out, to just sit there and just get in your chair. And it's all about the chair, because the chair is the seat of power. So you get in that chair and you hold on to that chair. And you just don't leave the chair until it's over. And it could take years, but you don't leave the chair. As long as you don't leave the chair, no one can take it from you. No one can sit in the chair instead of you. No one can do anything. You just don't get out of that chair. And that's all he did. He just stuck in that chair. And in Germany, it is a bad word. Aussitzen is kind of like a word, like it means that you're not doing anything. You're not actually reacting, and you're not doing the honest thing. You're just kind of waiting until everyone gets tired of accusing you of the bad things you're doing. But with time, I've come to admire that word, because since Kohl, there has been, especially in Germany, there's been generations of politicians who, at the slightest scandal, the drop of a hat, they immediately resign. They're voted into some position of power, and then there's a picture of the mistress or something, and they immediately resign. That's not democracy. You're not supposed to resign. You're voted in. You weren't voted because you don't have a mistress. You were voted in to do the job because you're a politician. You're supposed to be in that office and do that job. And just because there's a scandal, just because you have political enemies, and just because some people don't like you, maybe most people don't like you, maybe your approval rating is 40% or 20%, you shouldn't care because you were voted to that job. You should stay in that job. You should glue yourself to that seat and just keep sitting there until your job is over. That's what you're supposed to do. That's for me, that's democracy. And so if you can somehow with a magic wand and make everything go away, that's fine. But if you can't do that, if the only thing you can do is just to sit there, then you should be doing that. You should not leave the chair. And that's Aussitzen. I kind of admire Kohl because of that. Because it worked. He did not lose office, and I kind of wish that more people would realize that there is a certain kind of virtue in just sticking to what you're doing until it's over.
1, 2, 3, 4.